Hi everyone, welcome back to Schroth DC. I have Dr. Sherri here with us today just to share her experience of coming here, working with us at Schroth DC, as well as just kind of her scoliosis journey. And I think a couple of other things I wanted to touch on with you is your motivation for working out and staying in shape and what that journey's been like for you when you started. So when were you diagnosed with scoliosis?
When I was 13.
Okay, and just kind of routine checkup?
No, discovered it because I bought a new pair of slacks.
Okay.
And I was hemming them, and my mom had always taught me that you do one,
Yeah.
and then you measure it, and then you just hem the other one the same way. And when I got done, they weren't.
They weren't the same. So it wasn't your skill set. It was nothing you did wrong.
So it's like, oh, it looks like there's something.
What was your curve like back then? Like when did you start like diving deep into it, having x-rays and follow-ups? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it was about, they did all of those at that point, and I remember them saying if I'd been younger, they probably would have put me in a brace, but I was at the point where I'd probably done most of my growing.
Okay.
And they didn't think
And
it
they
was
were just like, there's nothing that we can
can't
do.
really do anything for you.
Okay, and was it just like go live your life? And
Yeah.
Then any like, hey, you don't have to worry about this, or is this something that you're gonna have to pay attention to later? Was it just kind of?
Yeah, I remember one of my primary care physician at some point said, well, you're going to have trouble with your back as you get older.
Okay, interesting.
And then I started having trouble when I was like 40. And he goes,
Okay.
well, I told you were going to have trouble. And I said, I wasn't thinking that was older.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking I had a little more time than that.
Okay. And that's what we hear a lot too from, especially for our younger kids, is we hear a lot of, hey, you're done growing, you don't have to do anything, there's nothing we can do, like don't worry about it. And I unfortunately see a lot of progressions of those things. So has your curve progressed over the years?
That I don't know.
Okay, so we're just not sure what you were like when you were younger. What was your activity level like 20s, 30s, 30s, 40s?
Yeah, so I wasn't, I was probably mostly sort of a gym rat, aerobics classes,
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I started running in my mid-30s.
Okay.
Because I was doing a research project with a colleague in Alaska.
Oh, what a beautiful place to run.
Yeah.
Wow, all right.
So it was a 100-mile race in Alaska in February. And
Okay.
he's like, well, we should go for a run. And I'm like, okay.
We'll skip the 5Ks. Let's just go to 100 miles.
Yeah, well, my first race was a 50K.
Yeah,
Or 50
wow.
miler, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, most people start.
You had the shoes with the wheels on them? Yeah. So when did you start you developed back pain at around 40s. Were you still active at that point? So you were still active. Any more decreased in activities? Any fluctuations there, or were you still maintaining the same thing? It was just something that was progressively building.
Yeah, it would be episodic.
Okay.
So I would be fine for a while, and then it would, I'd have
A flare up or something.
Pretty critical episode where I couldn't.
And then
move
how would you manage that? What was your relationship to that type of pain?
Usually was go to PT for 6 weeks.
And then just try to get, okay. And then now, fast forward, we're kind of towards now, we've had, has your pain increased over the past 10 years, 15 years, has it been stable? What brought you here to kind of seek out this method to, what brought you here to seek this out?
Yeah, so for the last 10 years, I'd say my pain was pretty stable. In other words, but still episodic, right? There are good days and bad days, or there are good weeks and not so good weeks. What happened is I went to PT because I was having trouble with bursitis.
Okay.
And as I get in for the first evaluation, she said, do you know you have scoliosis? Like, yes. And she goes, okay, I just wanted to make sure. And so she said, oh, there's this, this technique that people have developed. I'd encourage you to.
Oh, awesome.
So
that's always great to hear. And then what's your experience been like with the Schroth method?
I've just found it really I don't know, enlightening, and a way to sort of help me feel like I don't have to be afraid of things.
Okay, cool.
So I remember one time we were working on, I'd said something about deadlifting and that I was afraid of
Yeah.
that because it felt like it was exactly the right way to, have my back go.
Yeah.
And so you've helped me not be afraid of those things.
Awesome.
And know that I can, if I set things up right and I pay attention to it.
Perfect. And that's a big issue here with most people with scoliosis, especially our adults. They lack confidence. It's basically like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. I feel like this type of thing will hurt my back if I do it. So just changing your relationship to pain, getting you comfortable doing the things that you want to do. And this is someone that also has severe scoliosis and a lot of stiffness in the spine, a big pelvic shift or decompensations. And you've been able to manage this and load. How much did you get up deadlifting? It was like 85 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Which is like incredible that the deadlifting, the back squatting we're doing, and overhead press. And just seeing the gains that you've made with the structured workouts that you're doing. And then also there was a time where you were doing deadlifting that you were like, oh, the pain's coming back. But then we gave you strategies to kind of be like, explore it. What happens? Reset it. And you were like, yeah, I did the whatever that you told me to do.
Yeah. So what I did, I remember first thing you taught me was the switch
grip. Yep.
Right. And that helped tremendously. And then when I do overhead press on the same day that I try to do that on the same day I'm deadlifting, because you and I discovered that helped me sort of get primed for putting more.
Awesome. And that's something that I really strive to get people to understand is like pain does not equal stop. It kind of, I want you to be able to explore it. As long as you feel safe, you're in a controlled environment, you feel in control of your movements, and it's low on your pain scale. And because you can manipulate just the environment, the exercise routine, just change, be like, all right, you know what, my body doesn't want me to do deadlifts right now. Let me start with the treadmill, do some biceps, and then I'll come back to the deadlifts. And then all of a sudden there's like no pain. And it's just something that you did to the nervous system, warmed up, whatever it is, that just makes that change. And then also having the resetting techniques to prime your system for those lifts. And then what motivates you to keep working out? That's something I've always been interested in with you is like because I do see a lot of people that are extremely unmotivated. They're too busy. They don't have time to. They have an aversion to any sort of exercise. What's...
Yeah, so I think it's several things. One is, I'm getting older and everything I read says keep strength training. That is really, really important. And I like it.
Okay,
so
just the way that you feel.
I just like going in, and it makes me feel a little bit like a badass.
Yeah.
And, especially most of the people in the gym are younger than I am. Many of them are guys, and I'm like, I'm a 63-year-old woman, and I'm going to use that machine. And you get done with it. I think I told you when we first were talking about deadlifting, and I had not ever actually used a 45-pound barbell.
Yeah.
And so we worked on that, and then one day I went in and I'm like, oh, this is easy.
Nice. Yeah, just the intimidation factor to be comfortable lifting. And then how has pain been in terms of like episode pain and things like that since because you've been on a steady, minus the holidays, a steady routine of weightlifting, of Schroth, like, have you had less episodes? Have they been less intense? Are they shorter duration? Have you, like, when you have pain now, what's kind of like your thought process when your alarm systems go off?
Yeah, so I think I was telling you that right after the Christmas holidays, we like had 6 dinners in a row and all this kind of stuff, lots of entertaining, and I'm like, that it came back, and but I immediately started doing my pelvic resets and the open books, and that would have almost an instantaneous impact.
Nice.
Right. So
yes.
like friend coming over for dinner, and I'm like, so I just sit down for a while and do that, and that felt immediately better. And then I really recommitted to doing that and my Schroth for a few days, and so the pain episode lasted it was a lot shorter.
That's all, and that's like another thing that I can't stress enough is what we like to work on here is finding quick fixes. So when you do have an alarm system, a pain episode, what could you do in under 3, 4, 5 minutes to kind of reduce it by half? Or like, what can you do that will have a significant impact on it? And then what's our long-term strategy? What keeps the pain at bay and prevents it from coming? Or when you do have something that's lingering a little bit, I can't tell you how many times people like do Schroth every day for like a week and reevaluate. And it's gotten so many people, so much pain reductions and resetting. And that's such a different experience and relationship to heat, ice, medication, resting. You're so much more active, and to me, I feel like it gives you so much more confidence to continue move and not have that fear or worry that pain is going to stop you. It's just a moment to kind of just check in and ask yourself, like, kind of hit pause and be like, did I do anything stupid today? You know, was I out in the garden for hours? You know, am I traveling? Am I really stressed? Am I just having a really rough week right now with life events? And all of that plays a role in your pain experience. And if you have the ability to check into that, it'll allow you different ways to kind of cope through movement, and you'll get a much better result. And ultimately, the goal is to keep you moving, keep you healthy.
Yeah, and I think that's been really helpful in that, you know, there's so much out there that says pain is an indicator that there's something wrong.
Yes.
And you've really taught me that it may be something wrong, but it could be very momentary, and that there are ways to deal with that.
Dr. Sherri, thank you so much. This is awesome. I look forward to continuing to work with you on your journey. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, shoot us an email, give us a call. Happy to help you out in any way. Thank you.